Let's take a look at unit conversions. Now, most of these questions are non-calculator, apart from questions 7 and 10. So the first question, we're converting centimetres into metres. Now we know that 100 centimetres equals 1 metre. So to go from centimetres into metres, we are dividing by 100. So what is 25 divided by 100? If you're struggling with these, then you might want to write 25 as 25.0. And remember that if we're dividing by 100, we're moving the decimal point 2 positions to the left. But moving the decimal point 2 positions and just sticking it randomly in front of the 2 might create a confusion, so maybe put some zeros in front. And now if you move the decimal point, you're going to get the answer 00.250. 00.250, and hopefully you can appreciate that the 0 here and the 0 at the end isn't really doing anything useful, so the answer is 0.25. So 38 centimetres is 38.0 centimetres. Put again a couple of zeros in front, move the decimal point 2 positions to get 0.38. 62, 62.0, chuck some zeros in front, 1, 2, 0.62. 44 centimetres is 44.0 centimetres. Some zeros in front, move the decimal point 2 positions, 0.44. 197, 197.0. Here you don't really need to put any zeros in front because we can see where the decimal point is going to end up, and it's going to end up between two numbers, so 1.97. Question number 2, metres into centimetres. So 1 metre equals 100 centimetres. So to convert metres into centimetres, we are multiplying by 100. So when it's a whole number, that's nice and easy. All you need to do is add 2 zeros on the end. So 50 becomes 50 with 2 zeros. 455 becomes 455 with 2 zeros. If there are decimals involved, we're going to move the decimal point 2 positions, because there's 2 zeros in 100, and we're going to move it 2 positions to the right because we want to make the number bigger. Again, if it's not obvious where the decimal point is going to end up, then add some zeros. So here, by adding the zeros, I can now see that the decimal point is going to end up here. So the answer is going to be 720.00, in other words, 720 centimetres. 1.98, put some zeros on the end, decimal point moves 2 positions, so that becomes 198 centimetres. Question 3, we're converting metres into kilometres. Well, 1 kilometre equals 1,000 metres. So if we're converting kilometres into metres, we're multiplying by 1,000, and metres into kilometres, we are dividing by 1,000. So here we need to divide all of these numbers by 1,000, and again it's probably easier if you write the number as a decimal, so 1126.0, and because there are 3 zeros in 1,000, that means we're going to be moving the decimal point 3 positions. So 1, 2, 3, 1.126. That 0 at the end isn't really going to do anything, so we can get rid of that. 3257 is 3257.0. Move the decimal point 3 positions, becomes 3.257. 2164 is 2164.0. Move the decimal point 3 positions, becomes 2.164. And 9333 is 9333.0. Move the decimal point 3 positions, 9.333. 933 metres is 933.0, and here you might be confused when you move the decimal point the 3 positions, but maybe if you put a 0 in front or a few zeros, it doesn't really matter. Now it's a bit more obvious where the decimal point ends up, and we get the answer 0.933. Kilometres into metres, we are multiplying by 1,000, so if there's a decimal, we are moving the decimal point 3 positions to the right because we want to make the number bigger. And again, you might want to add zeros to the right hand side to make it more obvious. 1, 2, 3, so 294.000, in other words, 294 metres. When you've got a whole number, when you're multiplying by 1,000, just put 3 zeros on the end, so that's going to be 15,000. and this is going to be 3,500 with 3 zeros on the end, so that's 3,550,000. 0.013, again we're going to move the decimal point 3 positions, but you really want the decimal point to land between the two numbers, not just randomly be at the end or at the beginning of the number. So add a few zeros so that it's obvious that it's in between two numbers. So 1, 2, 3. So our new number is 0013.00. So that's simply just 13 meters. Question number 5, we're converting centimeters into millimeters. Well, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So to convert centimeters into millimeters, we're just multiplying by 10. So if it's a whole number, just stick a 0 on the end. And for decimals, just move the decimal point 1 position to the right. And again, you want the decimal point to land between two numbers. So put in another 0, so it's a bit more obvious. So 5.8 becomes 58.0, which is the same as 58. 48.1 is 48.10. Move the decimal point 1 position. That becomes 481. And 123.3, 123.30, move the decimal point 1 position, and that is 1233 millimeters. Question number 6, we just need to remember that 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So centimeters to millimeters we're multiplying by 10, so millimeters to centimeters we are dividing by 10. So here we're converting all of these from millimeters to centimeters, so we need to divide by 10. 62 divided by 10, 6.2. 190 divided by 10, just chop off the 0, 19. 993 becomes 99.3, and chop off 1 0 gives us 1,000. Question number 7, we want to find the area of the patio in square meters. Well, the area is the length times the width, so 9 multiplied by 3, so that's 27 meters squared. First of all, we need to, for B, we need to convert each side into centimeters. So remember that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So meters to centimeters, we are multiplying by 100. So that's going to be 900 centimeters by 300 centimeters. So the area of the patio in square centimeters is 900 multiplied by 300, and we can use the calculator for this question, or you can just do 9 3s are 27 and then put back those 4 zeros that you ignored a moment ago. So it's 270,000 centimeters squared. If each paving slab has an area of 3,600, how many paving slabs do you need to cover the patio? Well, what we need to do here is just divide the total area by the 3,600, and again obviously you're going to use a calculator, and that comes to 75 slabs. Question number 8, we're converting grams into kilograms. So 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So kilos to grams we are multiplying by 1,000. Grams into kilos we are dividing by 1,000. We're not allowed to use a calculator for this question. So the first one's straightforward enough, because when you're dividing by 1,000 you could just chop off 3 zeros, so that is 2 kilos. 38 divided by 1,000, I'm going to write as 38.0, and I'm going to put some zeros in front. Dividing by 1,000 means we're moving the decimal point 3 positions, so 1, 2, 3, and it moves to the left, obviously to make the number smaller, so the answer is 0.038. 300 is 300.0. Again, I'll put some zeros in front as it makes it easier when we're moving the decimal point 3 positions, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to end up here. So that is, these zeros don't matter, 0.3000, in other words, 0.3. Those zeros at the end aren't doing anything. So 616 is 616.0. Put a 0 or 2 at the start so you can move the decimal point a bit more easily. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is going to be 0.616. 21119 is 21119.0. Move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 positions, and we therefore get 21.119 kilos. Question 9, we're converting kilos into grams. So 1,000 grams is 1 kilo. So to go from grams to kilos, we're dividing by 1,000. And to go from kilos to grams, we are multiplying by 1,000. So here we want to go from kilos to grams, which is easier because obviously we prefer multiplying to dividing. So 4 multiplied by 1,000, that's 4,000. 0.9, if you're struggling with this, write 0.9, put some zeros to the right. We're going to move the decimal point 3 positions, so 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 900. 208 kilos, multiply that by 1,000, just stick 3 zeros on the end. And 31.256, move the decimal point 3 positions. You might want to put another 0 on the end or a few zeros if you want, so that you can just see where the decimal point is going to sit, and it's going to sit between the 6 and that first 0 you created, and hopefully you can appreciate that the 0.000 adds no real value, so it's just 31256 grams. Question number 10. What's the weight difference in grams between Des and Caroline? Well, we can use a calculator here, which is good news. So 95.3 minus 76.2, and that equals a difference of 19.1 kilos. And if you multiply that one by 1,000, because we've been asked for some reason to give this weight difference in grams, 19.1 multiplied by 1,000 is 19,100 grams. If Ben eats a 500 gram burger after being weighed, what's his new weight? So his weight is 82.4. 500 grams is half a kilo, so that is 0.5 kilos. So if you add these together, we get 82.9. And to be eligible for the study, you must weigh within 2,500 grams of 75 kilos. So what we need to do here is, first of all, convert this into kilos. That's 2.5 kilos. Just divide that one by 1,000. So to be eligible, you must be 75 plus 2.5. That's the maximum. So that's the maximum is therefore going to be 77.5, and the minimum is 75 minus 2.5, so the minimum is 72.5. So who is between 72.5 and 77.5? Well, Alice is between those values. Ben is too heavy. Caroline is also okay, and Des is too heavy as well. So just Alice and Caroline. Question number 11, we're converting from millilitres to litres. So 1,000 millilitres is 1 litre. So to go from millilitres to litres, you are dividing by 1,000. Litres to millilitres, we are multiplying by 1,000. So here, millilitres to litres, we are dividing by 1,000. We're not allowed to use a calculator. 3,000 divided by 1,000, that is simply 3 litres. 124 millilitres, to divide that by 1,000, it might be easier if we write 124.0 and put a few zeros in front. If we're dividing by 1,000, we need to move the decimal point 3 positions to the left to make it smaller. So 1, 2, 3, and our answer is therefore 0.124. And for C, we want to do 4,200 divided by 1,000, which is 4,200.0. And again, move the decimal point 3 positions to the left. 1, 2, 3. That will give us 4.2. 19, I'll write as 19.0. Again, put a few zeros in front so I can move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 positions. So therefore the answer is 0.019. 19,526, I'm going to write as 19,526.0. Again, move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 positions, and we get 19.526 litres. Just a reminder that 1 litre is 1,000 millilitres. So if we're converting from litres to millilitres, we are multiplying by 1000. So 0.5, I'm going to write as 0.5 with some zeros to the right of it, and we're going to move the decimal point 3 positions to the right, so 1, 2, 3, so 500.0, in other words 500 millilitres. 49, that's a whole number, so to multiply by 1000 I'm just going to add 3 zeros, that's nice and easy. 0.814, again I'll just put a few zeros on the end just to make it easy to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 positions. So 814.00, in other words just 814 millilitres. 16.52, I'll write a 16.52 with a few zeros, again move the decimal point 3 positions, 1, 2, 3. The answer is 16,520 millilitres. Question 13 involves us converting pounds to pence. Well, 100 pence equals £1. So to convert from pence into pounds, we are dividing by 100. Pounds into pence, we're multiplying by 100. But rather than seeing it as dividing by 100, we can just ignore the decimal point. So £2, that is 200 pence. 129 pence, 24 pence, 3,168 pence, 112,999 pence. Nice and easy. Here we want to convert from pence into pounds, so all we need to do is just create 2 decimal places. So that's £1 and 8p, this is £40 and 0p, this is £0 and 29p, this is £11 and 38p. So all of these amounts just need to be changed so that they have 2 decimal places. Question number 15. A punnet of cherries is 155p. What's this in pounds? Well, let's create 2 decimal places, so that is £1.55. 1 cucumber is 68p. So how much is 2 cucumbers? We're not allowed to use a calculator, so we might need to do 68 times 2. 2 8s are 16, carry 1, 2 6s are 12, plus 1 is 13. So that's 136p. Create 2 decimal places, so that's £1.36. Red onions are 23 pence per 100 grams, and Tammy buys 500, so that's going to be 23 multiplied by 5. 3 5s are 15, carry 1, 2 5s are 10, plus 1 is 11. So that's 115 pence. Create 2 decimal places for pounds, £1.15. 15d, avocados are 560 pence per kilo. So we can write that as £5.60. And beef is 6.90 per kilo. So what's more expensive? Well, 6.90 is more than 5.60, so beef. Question 16, we're converting kilos into pounds. Now here we know the conversion rate is 1 kilo equals 2.2 pounds. So well, question A is just done for us. That's the same as the conversion rate. So if 1 kilo is 2.2, then 6 kilos is going to be 6 times by 2.2. We can use the calculator, and that comes to 13.2. If 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds, then 2 kilos is 2 lots of 2.2, which is 4.4. If 1 kilo is 2.2, then 10 kilos is going to be 10 times that amount, so that's going to be 22 pounds. And if 1 kilo is 2.2, then 35 kilos is going to be 35 lots of 2.2, and 35 times 2.2 is 77. 1 foot is 30 centimetres, so 1 foot is 30 centimetres. So 8 feet is going to be 8 lots of 30. We can use a calculator, and 8 times 30 is 240 centimetres. So 21 feet is going to be 21 times by 30, and that's 630 centimetres. So 3.5 feet is going to be 3.5 times by 30, and that comes to a total of 105. Here we know that a gallon is 4.5 litres. So 5 gallons is going to be 5 times 4.5 litres, which is 22.5 litres. So 9 gallons is going to be 9 lots of the 4.5. And 9 times 4.5 is 40.5 litres. Again, all we need to do is just multiply all of these by the 4.5 from the conversion rate which was given. So we get 135 litres and 85.5 litres. We know that 1 mile is 1.6 kilometres, so 5 miles is going to be 5 times 1.6, 28 miles is going to be 28 times 1.6, 44 is 44 times 1.6, and 3.6 miles is 3.6 times by 1.6, and that works out as 8 kilometres, 44.8 kilometres, 70.4 kilometres, and 5.76 kilometres. Obviously, you're allowed a calculator for this question. Okay, so for 20A, we need to convert the flour, the sugar, and the butter into grams. So we know that 1 ounce is 28 grams. So for flour, we're just doing 5 ounces times by 28, sugar 3 times 28, and butter 4 times 28. And 5 times 28, that's 140 grams. For the sugar, that's 84 grams, and the butter is 112 grams. James has a measuring jug that is in millilitres only, so how much milk does he need? Well, half a pint. So if 1 pint is 568, then half a pint is going to be 568 millilitres divided by 2, and that is 284 millilitres. So James realises he doesn't have enough milk, so he drives to the supermarket, which is 0.9 miles away. So how far is that in kilometres? Well, we know that 1 mile is 1.6 kilometres, so 0.9 miles is 0.9 multiplied by 1.6. Perhaps this one seems a bit more confusing because this amount is less than the 1 here, but 0.9 means 9/10 of a mile. So what is 9/10 of 1.6? That's the same as 0.9 times 1.6, and that comes to 1.44. And for D, the dough needs to be rolled a 1/4 inch thick, and we know that 1 inch is 2.5 centimetres, so 1/4 of an inch is going to be 1/4 of 2.5, so in other words 2.5 divided by 4, which is 0.625 centimetres.